as the CTO of Bumpa. Just, I think this particular post captures it from different angles. The reason why people are actually in this country. But we know even things like accidents happen everywhere.
Now, if you look at Dele Momodu's Japa connection, that somebody that has 30 million is strictly an individual thing.
Many people are missing. One, Nigerian factor have to be put into consideration. Two, I've had relation driving license, which is not even a certificate for you to ascertain who can drive very well, considering what Nigeria is.
It's indeed unfortunate for anyone to prioritize the hackers material over the life of a fellow human being. It's sad if that is true, because that's what you said.
Yeah.
People will be in shock. Do you understand? Because sometimes we see these things.
But the problem now is
Not everybody-
it's on petition. So the petition now changed. It's
What
official. It says when she said she imposed, she doesn't want blood to stain her car.
I agree with whatever they have put in the petition.
Unfortunately, there's a victim, and because he is the one who is the victim, it is assumed that it's the woman that is shot with. You know that it's because of accident. Were you there?
I wasn't
Back
there.
to you.
We
But
are you there?
there were passers by.
Who
There
told
were
us?
eyewitnesses. There were
The
eyewitnesses.
only judgment was there was somebody on the floor, which I
There
was
was eyewitness.
It was an accident, inadvertent accident. I can never believe, and you cannot convince, none of you can convince me that woman deliberately came out that day and said, one power bike rider, I'm going to kill one power bike rider today.
I saw this post on Facebook by James Odujen, and I felt it was it captured it. So let me just read it. The other day, Dele Momodu said anyone that had 13 million and still Japa was a fool. This is why Nigerians pack it all up and leave. The way Bumpa CTO TJ died is so cruel and justifies the decision of those who choose to leave. You can have all the money and Nigeria will still mess you up. In his word, fuck you up. And you will get no justice. TJ's bike was allegedly hit by Biola Adams with Rutayo's car. And rather than get down to help drive him to the hospital, she said she didn't want blood to stain her car. She was driving in a one-way lane. She remained in her car, making a call while he was on the floor, barely breathing and fighting for his life. Bystanders carried him to 2 different hospitals, and he was rejected. Others stayed with the woman to make sure she didn't drown. When bystanders couldn't get him into hospitals, they came back and forced her to follow them in her car, hoping that this would make the hospital accept him. It worked, and an hospital finally accepted to treat him. Unfortunately, he died a few minutes after he was taken in. The police refused to charge her with manslaughter, choosing instead to arrest her for reckless driving. She has since been released on bail set at 1 million naira and has allegedly fled. There's a petition on Charge.org calling for the police to do the right thing. I don't believe in petitions because it almost never achieves anything, but I've signed it. You can check the link in the comments. So I think that's the story. A sad one, very painful. A young man as bright as the CTO of Bumpa. I think this particular post captures it from different angles. The reason why people actually leave this country. But we know even things like accidents happen everywhere.
Well, to say the least, the death of that young man was one of the most unfortunate things to happen in our history. Having a very young man that was born in Lagos in December 20, 1992
92.
and studied law at Bafemi University before transiting into software engineering, where he has done a lot, worked in Nigeria and United States. And in 2022, he secured about $4 million in seed funding led by Base 10 partners. And before he died, he had about 40 individuals in his employment. Yeah, this brought to fore the way accident victims taken care of or emergency comes to them in terms of evacuating them, in terms of rendering assistance to them. Except somebody that has never been involved in any form of accident. I have as a person, but it was just by the grace of God. I've had an 80-feet container fell on me.
80 feet container fell.
Yes, it was by His grace.
Yes, survival was a miracle.
People rescued me.
So that the grace of God, He rescued you.
I was on wheelchair for a while, but it was by His grace.
Not because the Nigerian system, the Nigerian hospital system, the health system.
His soul stood out and said, "This man must not die." The trailer caught fire. That is by the wayside. Now, the behavior of that woman, vis-a-vis
Based on the report.
Yeah, based on the report.
Allegedly.
It is a common thing we see on Nigerian road. Somebody who caused or whose carelessness led to an accident will stand aloof and will watch that person die because he or she is connected. I've had a case whereby one of these dispatch riders, a woman rammed into him, and the guy was on the floor, breathing in pain. The woman sluggishly came out of her car. The first thing she went to check was the dent on the car, not the person that was on the ground. So this case of Bumpa is no isolation, because that also tells the kind of inhuman feeling some of us, some Nigerians have. Now, if you look at Dele Momodu's Japa connection, that somebody that has 30 million is strictly an individual thing. But the fact remains that some people see the animalistic behavior in some human beings and decide to say, no, enough of this nonsense, it can no longer continue. Let them move on. And now, that young man is gone and is gone forever. To worsen situation, the police, instead of charging this woman for manslaughter, I don't really know the extent of investigation that was carried out before even allowing that woman to be bailed. The state government and all the relevant agencies must do something, must wake up, because we cannot continue to lose people carelessly. Not because of their fault. Accident can happen anyway. But if it does happen, how do we manage such situation to avoid unnecessary deaths? That work would have been saved if timely response had come this way. But because of somebody who wanted to show off, telling somebody that she does not want her car seat to be stayed, it's most unfortunate. Really unfortunate.
It's indeed unfortunate for anyone to have prioritized the her car seat
Material.
over the life of a fellow human being. It's sad if that is true, because basically that's what the news said.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to take it as the body of truth, because I do not believe that a sane human being would, think of her car seat when a life is at stake. But be that it may, this event speaks to licensing in our country, licensing of drivers, of riders. This is a country whereby you get your license without even taking the test. You get your license without, the way we cut corners to get these licenses, and these are the results. So it speaks to the fact that there should be stringent measures.
A blind man was once issued a driver's license.
In Nigeria.
Yes, a blind man.
Driver's license is so easy to get.
You
just spend the money and
you could
Nobody cares.
you could see what is bringing to our society, and that particular axis is terrible when it comes to these things like this. And that's an axis that has the intelligentias, the well-to-do, those who have even traveled out of this country, have seen the system works. You see them, those on bike, they run into them. That's how they killed Bola or Mudashiru's son. So it's a recurrent in that axis. And if it's in other areas, we say, okay, maybe lack of exposure or lack of intent. But no, these are axes whereby they should drive with the fine print of best knowledge of in that category. So when these things happen, I begin to see that we need to really all have public advocacy in this area and ensure that only those who are qualified to drive in this country. Because this one bad tail too many. Bad tail too many. There's no, how do we even begin to respond to this? That such a young man is cut down in his prime of his life. A man that is just 32 years old. Very sad. Very sad. Very sad.
We shouldn't be having accidents.
And even the first responders, even if the lady had acted the way she had acted, you understand, they could have taken the picture of her plate number and attend to the.
So we should have rushed. Or maybe I think the other thing is
that the basic life support skill that Nigerians should
the value for life.
The value for life. Because if I see somebody on the floor and whoever caused the accident is not, she may even be in shock. Do you understand? Because sometimes we see these things.
But the problem now is
not everybody.
It's petition. So the petition now on change is official. They said she said she in quote she doesn't want blood to stain her car.
I agree with whatever they have put in the petition. I'm saying if an accident happened, the person involved in the accident, no matter the training, you cannot judge the reaction that she will have. She will be in a state of shock. You understand? And even that call may be mumbling.
You cannot be in shock. You cannot be in shock. I understand, but you cannot be in shock and say, I don't want blood to stain my car.
Empathy first. Empathy first.
I'm not saying that I've not sided with that.
No, I understand
what
you're
I'm saying. Is that when an accident happens, reactions differs.
Okay.
Do you understand? I've said driving on that side is supposed to be for intelligentials, people who are well-to-do, people they need to have traveled, have seen system works.
But what is the fact is that yes, you have said it.
No, what I'm saying is that even those who supposedly are now on ground to help the victim, you are waiting for somebody that is not even responding.
What I'm saying in other part of the world, do they actually exhibit it here? And they bring us to you.
The truth of the matter is, I'm looking at a holistic issue here. This is just one too many. There have been others that have been happening. There have been many cases of hit and run. It is the case that they allow this one to run. So my thing is this: the Nigerians who were there, the passers-by who were there, who wanted to help the man on the floor, do they even have the basic life support skills to be able to help? Because they say when you carry an accident victim, that you don't carry the person properly, you will kill the person. Would they call 911 to come to that very venue and professionals evacuate the person in pains? Then there's this new law that was set by Lagos State that talks about speed limits on virtually major roads in Lagos State. I believe very strongly this should be followed because overspeeding, most of these things comes from overspeeding. So when the enforcement is put in place, very strongly, I'm of the firm opinion that cases like this would drop. Then we'll have then Nigerians should avail themselves basic life support skills so that at least if somebody is not helping an accident victim, if you are there, you'll be able to help and help in a professional way.
Many things you people are missing. One, Nigerian factor have to be put into consideration. Two, I've heard you mention driving license, which is not even a certificate for you to ascertain who can drive very well, considering what Nigeria is. In Nigeria, how many people or how many right people are doing the right thing? 90% of Nigerians
saying that it should be done right.
90% of Nigerians are rampaging in a square hole.
That's what for
Take it on.
That's what we are saying.
That's what we are saying.
That it should not be so.
It's not by you obtaining a certificate.
Normally,
To
when
drive
a
and
certificate,
No,
a certificate should endorse.
No.
A
Certificate should endorse
Have you had
that you have passed and you
have you had
what you
one
have
local balance? Have you had one local balance that says any pikin where they read book na in dey serious, but the one wey back exam na inside the book?
No.
We're saying it shouldn't be
It shouldn't be so.
Listen, what I'm saying is that do you know there are people who have driving license that who don't have driving license that can drive better than those who have driving license?
Why?
You know?
Why should it? We don't care whether
You don't care. If you come as well as saying
a society,
do you know there are many vehicles physically seen many vehicles?
Mr. Dallas, can I ask you a question? Mr. Dallas,
It's not the
Mr. Dallas, can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question?
Don't dump that my excuse me.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, it's a pity we're in a country where many things don't work the way we expect it. If it's in overseas, I think there should be a monitoring gadget that could determine who was at fault.
Yes,
Yes, unfortunately, there's a victim. And because he is the one who is the victim, it is assumed that it's the woman that is the culprit. But if it's in an environment where certain things work, we should know whether the young man was riding at the permitted limit or not. That is one. Two, I will not also personally blame the woman for not calling out immediately, despite the fact that they said she doesn't want her car to be stolen. She might have taken that action she took in order to save 2 lives. Because considering the environment where she was, she could come out immediately and she would be released by passersby.
Would they will somebody not lay child inside the
No, she could think that
Even said the car
was
would have
a preventive measure to save herself. Because if she came out from that venue in order to carry that young out of annoyance, people could lynch her.
It has happened. It's not.
She decided to say no.
But she remained there. She remained there.
Yes. And at the end of the day, people who we are passing might not know that she's the one who caused the accident. I'm just saying,
when there was a dent.
This is my personal opinion.
When there was a dent.
If there was a dent, who caused the dent? And that was it takes two to tango.
The impact was there.
Have you technically ascertained? Have you said technically, spiritually, and physically ascertained that?
There is nothing spiritual in that.
I'm elaborating it. I'm entitled to my analysis.
These are physical analysis.
What I'm saying.
These are physical analysis.
How do you know that it's because of the accident? Were you there?
I wasn't there. There were passers-by. There were eyewitnesses.
The only judgment was there was somebody on the floor, which
there was eyewitness.
It was an accident, inadvertent accident. I can never believe, and you cannot convince, none of you can convince me that that woman deliberately came out that day and said, one power bike rider, I'm going to kill one power bike rider today. It's not possible.
That's why it's an accident.
And what I'm telling you is that based on, see, the way you react, the way you are hungry might not be the way I react. The way you react when he's angry also might not be the way I react. So the way you react, yes, but even when there was an accident, the way you react might not be the way I react.
Sure.
So that woman reacted in a way that she feel that that's what will keep her safe. That is my opinion and that is my judgment.
But at this expense of somebody else's life.
Yeah, the one who think that she was selfish.
I'm asking you.
No. The defense law of nature is selfishness.
But at the end of the day, this is what we're saying. Now, I agree. I know what you are saying. Even though I don't agree. Let me not say I agree because I withdraw my. I withdraw that. Yes, now this is the question. I have questions. I have like that.
Come on,
that's for you.
It is wrong for you to ascertain at that point in time that she was not feeling what was happening to that young man. But what I'm telling you that you don't judge her based on the action she took there and then.
No.
She might take that action based on what I've done to her. She wants to save.
Mr. Nancy, I'm going to ask you a question.
Because if she's linked, it means that we'll be trying for 2 years.
I'm going to ask everybody a question each. First question to you, Mr. Darlington.
Please, audience.
If there is hard evidence to show that the woman said, I do not want and there's proof that the only reason this woman did not carry this man in her car is because she does not want blood on her car, to stain her car. One. And that's the reason why, if she had carried her and they had gotten earlier, this guy would have been saved. Do you still think you want to cover or give excuse for that particular action?
From that angle, from what you just said, you said if.
Yes.
Under probability.
Yes.
You were not there.
No, I'm telling you now. I'm separating the case now. This particular. No, this particular. This now. If this was the case. No, I'm not alleging anything. I'm creating a different analysis. A different analysis.
Okay.
Ignore this.
Yes. If that is what she said, yes. It is absolutely, it's natural, it's humanly wrong.
It's wrong.
Yes.
Fine. Now.
But if she.
Now that's it. You answered it.
Okay.
You answered it.
Yes. It's humanly wrong.
I'll come back to you with another question.
I'm ready.
Mr. Dennis.
Yes.
Do you think, is this an indictment on our health system in this country? The health, because you remember what James was trying to say in his post. The fact that you can have money in this country and your life, your safety is not guaranteed. Assuming or alluding to the fact that if this was in another place, another country, this man would have been saved. And we've also seen it in the life of our past presidents and our present president. Let me just say leaders, political leaders. They go abroad to get this, to get their medical health sorted. Why? Regardless of the fact that this is called the giant of Africa. How old are we now after independence? Are we saying we will still need to depend on another country? I think by now, we shouldn't be talking about going out for medication. This particular case, if we are all aware and we have systems and structures in place in terms of our health care
that are working,
this guy should still be alive. Do you think so?
Yes. It's an indictment on the health services in Nigeria. It's not just happening now. There was a time the Inspector General of Police issued a circular to hospitals to treat accident victim and even people shot while police extraction is being processed so that they can save life. If, for example, even a robber shot somebody and that victim is not treated and he dies, how do you now extract information as to who and what they saw that will assist police investigation? If anybody, they said a dead person, not the make statement. Person will die, not the make statement.
Most people let them do hospital.
So, as a result, let me give you a scenario. On the 4th of January this year, one of the security details in our estate was involved in an accident. And I was called into it around 10 o'clock or so. This time around, I was fagged out that night. I was tired, just came back from Ikeja. I got up, I went with just knicker and t-shirt. This boy was rushed to a hospital around VGC, and they said we should deposit 1.5 million. We hadn't such money. We rushed him to Ikoyi. We got there, there was no bed space in the emergency section. They recommended we take this boy to Yaba. We drove to Yaba. This was around 12:01 a.m. Got to Yaba, and the doctor there told us, look, this boy needs ICU equipment. I looked at the hospital. This is well-equipped hospital. Do you know what happened? She directed us to a private hospital at Surulere. And I got to understand that
One of those, that private hospital could be owned by some person who directed.
because the owner of that hospital was a consultant
Exactly.
to that hospital.
That's it.
By the time we got there by 2 a.m. in the morning, after our send out, they said we should deposit 200,000. We deposited. Do you know, within space of 3 days, we had paid almost ₦1 million. Almost ₦1 million. And that hospital, the kind of equipment I saw there, what they have there is not up to even 1%
Of what is
of
in
what
government
they have
hospital.
in
Government
the hospital.
That's Nigeria for
Now
you.
you see,
Nigeria, my country.
is becoming a recurrent decimal.
Now, if people with
To the
money,
extent that
if people with money
if you
can't
don't have
survive,
money,
how about those with money?
people hardly survive accidents because of the way some of these medical personnel are behaving.
All right.
It's very unfortunate.
And let me ask you this question. For you, the CCTV bill, the CCTV situation, how far? Because by now, I know in 2020 there was something about CCTV bill. I don't know, 2020, how many years now? Are we in Lagos, a mega city like Lagos? Are we still talking about CCTV, no CCTV? I want to believe.
Center of Excellence.
I want to believe there's a CCTV that captures this. I don't know about if you can shed light on the bill or the situation of CCTV, even in Lagos, even if not Nigeria.
I'll say this. It is not in the place of the lady Abiola Opayele to evacuate her whole accident victim to the hospital.
Sure.
There should be a first responder unit, an official first responder unit. Even the passers-by in other crimes look at accident victim, they don't touch them. The best they can do for an accident victim is to pick up their phones and call 911.
They are not experts. They are not.
Because they are not professionals in handling such situations.
Yes.
You understand? So, except those who are certified with basic life support skills, who are due. That's because if you touch that person, you can even be
Thought at the wrong place.
Yes.
And
you are liable for the death of that person.
Yes.
Now, in a place like this environment you have talked about, have CCTV. But this CCTV I see in Lagos are those ones that are charging me 20,000
God bless you, my
for
brother.
for beating for one infraction or the other.
Victimization.
That's the only thing I know that
You're
goes.
creative for victimization.
No, I won't say that. I won't say
You will
that.
not say that.
I will not say that because
Yes.
what I know is that CCTVs is a very it's part of the modern society.
You don't want to buy the
Do you understand? But it's what is being deployed to check our speed limits, and for those of us who once in a while cut corners on the road, so the CCTV is there to tell us that you have had a traffic offense and you're supposed to pay this. So if we have that CCTV, I believe CCTV will be in that axis.
The problem is, I think Nigeria is that the problem
there's a CCTV bill, okay, that because you know whatever happens in your private property is what you have right over. But what happens on public property? So CCTVs are allowed to be installed on public properties, and in that axis, I'm very sure that there will be a CCTV there that is functioning. Because if those CCTVs are actually billing people for traffic offences, then it can be relied upon in this situation.
Yes.
Hopefully, you know, in the Nigerian situation,
Yes.
so many things happen.
Yeah.
We have the same data collection.
No, let's have faith.
The national data
Let's
collection
have faith.
that collects they collect data for NIN.
Yes.
Tomorrow they'll still call you for another data collection. You know,
I think that should be another topic.
This particular one now
because I want us to stay.
can be focused
I want us to stay on this. On
Okay,
this.
so let's have a
Then another one is on health insurance.
In as much as there is something
you
is
abusing?
getting, in as much as there is something is getting that keeps him living, he must advocate for faith
He has a
in
lawyer.
this country.
He has a lawyer.
Am I not a lawyer?
No, but another thing in this scenario
Yes.
is on health insurance.
Yes.
You know, most apart from that, some of us subscribe to insurance on basic diseases.
Yeah.
I believe that if you are a driver for somebody who rides such a huge machine, 200cc horsepower, things like that, an insurance should come because accidents can happen.
How would
No,
in this particular case now?
You are looking at
This aftermath.
health insurance.
Mm.
Health insurance is maybe when somebody falls sick, you go to the hospital, you avail yourself or whatever.
Now there are different categories now.
But the fact is that how
Because if some insurance takes care of when you run into somebody's car, you damage it.
I think right now
So
we're concerned about the life taking now.
That is
Not
what
assurance.
that is insurance. I'm not looking at it's a different thing.
I'm talking
about
about-
insurance.
I'm talking about health insurance.
Health insurance.
I'm talking about health insurance because if you want to take health insurance for that you are exposed yourself to some certain risk, driving some certain automated vehicle, the premium is higher. But if anything happens, they take care of it.
In this case now, is it not when you take him, who will activate that care, take care of him?
Speaking on what you have said about your what do you call it?
Security.
Security guard. Because you know there are some
Okay, on the security guard.
or there are some health payments that is beyond the pocket of an ordinary person. But when you know that you are exposed, maybe because of your job or the things you use, probably you are in a factory worker, you are exposed to certain instruments, and so you should understand.
I think it's a subject for another day because I in this country, I think let me just say insurance.
Don't you have any insurance?
Can you count on your insurance?
You can count on your insurance.
Which
I
one is your insurance?
have health insurance.
Do you have stories?
I have health insurance.
Do you have stories?
I have third party vehicle insurance.
We don't have third party.
It's compulsory.
We are forced to have.
That is it.
If you are not forced to have, we don't have
for
it.
the bike rider, you should be forced to have
Will
some
you have
insurance
it?
that
Do you trust? Anyway, I think this particular case
Yes.
is a bigger topic for another day.
Yes.
But
Because the insurance industry, I don't know.
I want to talk
I don't.
about the CCTV
It's something-
in Lagos.
Okay.
The CCTV in Lagos is for victimization.
Okay.
The CCTV.
Have you been victimized?
Have you been victimized?
No, how?
Thank you.
How?
These are how I like. CCTV becomes effective when it's yielding money for Lagos State.
Okay. So that's not victimization. That's not victimization. That's
why
commercial purpose.
Let me
No, that is to bring sanity to the road.
How many
Because
government
if
officials have fallen victim of CCTV?
If
How many
fall-
government officials have fallen victim of CCTV?
Government official.
I don't understand how.
Why should
Why
they
should
fall?
we go for?
There's a reason why.
In as much as you are not part of APC, there's no way you will not be a victim of CCTV in terms of driving.
I don't think
that's
so.
So once you are
Do
APC,
you know that you are captured with your plate number? So that plate number, they put safety CDL or PGP.
they'll quickly check it and they'll say,
They'll check that safety CDL.
As far as Last in Lagos State is concerned, their dignity in labor is not how well they are able to control traffic. You know their dignity in labor. How much have they made in a day, even individually? If you are a member of Last Man in Lagos State, any day you do not go home with 50,000 naira, you are a failure to your family. As far as Lagos State is concerned.
Okay, I am not aware.
You might not be aware.
But that is not the prescription of the
But
Lagos.
that's not the law. That's not the law.
is this what you say allegedly?
Is this alleged? Is this what you say alleged?
This is what is happening.
You have facts.
You have facts.
As far as I'm concerned, if you do not go home every day with reasonable amount of money as LASMA officials,
So it's
you
not
are a
gonna affect you.
failure. That's one, two. Let me give a reference to the woman who had an accident with the bike rider,
The
power
Bumpa.
bike rider.
Okay.
You people said, I heard you say it was a collision, face to face.
No.
Who? Okay. Who was? Were they coming at the same direction?
Into
Okay.
a
He
cycle.
wanted to display his acrobatic skills on how to drive power back.
No, it's not
At the end of the
This guy,
was he crying?
this guy.
As far as I'm concerned, that
let's
wants to display his acrobatic and technical way of riding power back. Never, little did he know that it will result to like that. As far as I'm concerned.
But let's respect the dead. But at the same time, if you want us to talk about the dangers,
Yes.
or you don't want to talk about the issue of power bike
licensing.
because a lot of power bike riders have been caught up in this life.
Reckless driving.
Yes.
To display
Reckless
what's
driving.
not necessary. That's what's happened. That's what my instinct is that happened.
Okay,
So this depends
For the fact that some of them are reckless, it's not enough to justify this case. That is a product of recklessness.
We can relate to
Because
that.
we don't have this.
The police are gone to court.
You
The
understand?
police are gone to court
That's
and have charged the man for careless and reckless driving.
Yeah.